Welcome back to another episode of Those Two Dudes. It's that dude, Josh.
That's that dude, Ruben.
Another week in the books. Crazy upsets, as you can see by my backdrop. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, you can see A&M and Aggies, huge upset. Obviously, it's something we didn't even expect. God, it's crazy. But, I mean, yeah, college football definitely took a turn this weekend. But NFL was this week. So as always, let's start with the NFL. But before we get started, remember, follow us on Instagram at Those Two Dudes Podcast on Instagram, Those Two Dudes, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Twitter. I don't even remember what else. Check us all out, guys. We're everywhere. Those Two Dudes. So yeah, going back to the NFL. Josh, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on the NFL? And do you want to dive right into your rankings?
Well, as I was doing my rankings, I noticed this is the first week we have multi-loss teams in our top 10 power rankings.
Yes.
We got some 2-loss squads in there.
Okay.
Arizona, the only undefeated team, still another big divisional win for them against San Fran. So yeah, I mean, there's some changes. I don't have tons of changes in my top 10. So I'll go ahead and give you my 10 through 6, and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
Starting at number 10, they dropped down. Where did I have them last week? I forgot to. Let's see. All the way down from 3, the Cleveland Browns. Number 9, my other 2-loss team. This team's been in and out of the power rankings more than any other team so far this season. It's like 1 week they're in, 1 week they're out. But anyways, number 9, the New Orleans Saints. Number 8, Green Bay Packers. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. And number 6, the LA Chargers.
I don't understand why you're so high on the Saints. I really don't. I don't get it.
Look, like I said, this is the first week we've had to put multi-loss teams in the power rankings. I have 9 and 10. I was looking at teams that have the most impressive wins. I was kind of looking at who's done what lately. New Orleans has the big win against Green Bay. That's Green Bay's only loss. They killed them. They're 3 and 2.
And then they proceeded to lose a home game to the Giants.
They lost the home game to the Giants, but that's not their most recent game. They bounced back with the W this past weekend. And that game wasn't overtime. So overall, I think when I'm looking at other teams, I thought about putting my Titans in there, who's also 3 and 2, but we got that bad loss to the Jets. Granted, both our receivers were out that game. But still, looking at overall resumes and who's done what lately, I thought the Saints, they were the 9th best candidate there. So I'll put them at number 9. And yeah. I
disagree with you on I think the Titans loss at New York with a team that was just flooded with injuries in the Titans. That loss was not as bad as a home loss to the Giants.
You're probably right, but they also don't got a win as good as the Green Bay win for New Orleans. So,
well, I mean, the win at Seattle was good.
It was a good win, but Seattle's also they said at 2 and 3, 3 and 2 and 3, I think.
Okay. I mean, all right, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, that's why these are our opinions.
Chargers, I got them moved them up to number 6 from 8. I'm really high on the Chargers right now, man. I really think they have a shot at that. As tough as that division is, they might have a shot to win that division. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm high on the Chargers too, man. I mean, they look really good. I mean,
their only L is a close one to Dallas.
Love it. Love that. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm super high on the Chargers. I think they did have high expectations. Their biggest need was needing to shore up the defense, and it looks like they've done that. So, Dude, I mean, yeah, I can understand why people would be all in on the Chargers this year. Plus, you're only as good as your quarterback. Fortunately for them, they have a second-year absolute stud in Justin Herbert.
They might have found their quarterback for the next 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so kind of going mine, 10-6. Number 10, I have Cincinnati. They were 3-1 going to this week. They lost to the Packers. Honestly, they should have won. Except their kickers. Nobody wanted to make a field goal in the game. Nobody wanted to make a field goal in this game.
How you move? Yeah, nobody. I've seen the most missed field goals I've seen in my life in that game.
Oh my God! So I watched that game, and the last I think 3 minutes there was 5 missed from the last 3 minutes in overtime. There was 5 missed field goals.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing like it in my life, especially not in the NFL. Maybe college, but never in the NFL. Anyways, yeah, you moved them into your top 10 after a loss.
Yeah, because they look good. Cincinnati looks good. They should have won this game. They should have beat a really good Packers team. They look good. I mean, Joe Burrow looks good, even though for whatever reason he refuses to slide. Him refusing to slide is going to cut his career in half. So he needs to learn how to slide. Yeah. But since he looks good, they have arguably the best trio of wide receivers in the NFL. I do like Cincinnati. So I got Cincinnati at 10. At number 9, I have Cleveland. It was a tough loss in the game at the Chargers. I heard that they were the first team in NFL history to lose a game by putting up 400 plus yards on offense with no turnovers, and they still lost.
No turnovers, okay. 400 plus yards and no turnovers.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so
that is pretty crazy. I mean, it was a shootout.
It was a shootout. It was. And I think
that game, two solid teams going back and forth. And yeah.
So Cleveland fell, but look, they're good. I think more so they're going to be in our top 10 pretty much all year. So, I think
I kept them at number 10 too, even though they got that second loss.
Yeah.
I kept them in my top 10 as well.
They
lost the game to both Kansas City and a close game to
close game at Kansas City, close game at Chargers. So you're cool. Yeah. Number 8, I have Baltimore. Man, ESPN is hyping up Baltimore so much and Lamar Jackson. Honestly, I don't understand. I don't buy into Lamar Jackson.
No, neither do I. He doesn't. His accuracy is not where it needs to be.
He threw 90% this past game, and that's cool and all, but that was one game against the Colts
in the regular season against a team that's not very good.
Yeah, so the whole point is to be consistent about that, not to praise a man for doing that one game in the regular season when he had to do that to come back against a 1-3 team. Right. So at home,
they were getting beat pretty bad, right?
They were losing 22-9, I think, in the third quarter.
Yeah, and they come back and win, and they hype them. Yeah. I don't see the consistency or the accuracy in him to have Baltimore as a top 5 team. But look, they got the win-loss thing going. They're still a talented roster, so I got them in my top 10, but I don't necessarily buy them as a Super Bowl.
I don't either. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I don't either. I don't think. Yeah, I know this isn't about Kansas City. They're not in my top 10, but I don't think that they could beat Kansas City again. I don't think that I'm not 100% sure they could beat Cleveland. I definitely don't think that they can beat Buffalo. So, I don't know. I mean, and also they haven't gotten to the thick of things in division play, and that's a tough division, the AFC North. So, we'll see. But so I got Baltimore at 8. At number 7, I have the Chargers. They're looking good. And number 6, I have Dallas. The only reason I have them at Dallas at 6 is because my 1 through 5, they all won last week, and they were all pretty decent wins. So I didn't really find it in me.
Run through your 10 through 6 for me one more time.
So I got Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore, Chargers, and Dallas.
Okay, so I'm guessing you have Green Bay a little higher than I do, and you don't have New Orleans in there.
Correct. Yeah, and also to be noted that my 11 and 12 just out. 11, I have Tennessee. I do have Tennessee at 11, and then 12, I have Kansas City.
No love for the Saints, huh?
No love for the Saints. None.
Against the Packers, irrelevant.
No, that absolutely was irrelevant.
What do you mean? It's a win. How can it be irrelevant? It counts.
No, it was the first game of the season. It literally means nothing.
It doesn't count.
I mean,
So
it
when you
counts.
go
Yeah, of
into
course
the
it counts
season-
record-wise, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
Man, they destroyed them. They're 3-2. Goodness gracious.
Aaron
I'm
Rodgers
sorry.
is notorious for
I'm
having
sorry,
like
Saints
2 games a
Nation.
season where he's just terrible. So, I mean, yeah, I don't care. I don't
I'm
care.
not sold on him either, but look, we're trying to who's earned it? Who's earned it?
All right, give me your 5 through 1.
5 through 1. Coming in at number 5, the Dallas Cowboys. Coming in at number 4, the Los Angeles Rams. Coming in at number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Coming in at number 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And coming in at number 1, the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay. I see what it's similar. It's similar, but it's not. So my number 5 is Green Bay. Right. But they won the game again at Cincinnati. They should have won and they should have lost. It's kind of weird to say, but
yeah, they should have lost too, right? I mean, they should have lost. They have the loss to the Saints. Top 5, they looked good lately, other than till this weekend.
Yeah.
So they look good. What, weeks 2, 3, and 4, but they look bad weeks 1 and 5.
Okay, but they won week 5.
They won week 5, yeah. But top 5, I don't know. I'd prefer Dallas. I'd prefer the Chargers.
I'm with you. And look, I'm with you on Dallas. Like, I get it. And also I'm aiming this at the people that talk on Facebook when, all the naysayers out there say, well, Cowboys should have won because they played a 1-4 team. Like, no, it's the NFL. It's an any given Sunday league. Unless you're Jacksonville or the Jets, every game is going to more or less be within 7 points. Like it's so for the Cowboys to do what they're doing and blow teams out, like that's big. And yeah, I'm with you, and I feel like I'm talking my way into them being at number 5. But look, they got a tough game against the Patriots this weekend, so we'll see in New England. But yeah, so number 5 I have Green Bay. Number 4 I have the Rams. Number 3 I have Tampa Bay. Number 2 I have Arizona, and number 1 I have Buffalo.
Oh man, look! What is this? You doing? What is this? You got the undefeated team not at number 1. There's one undefeated team in the whole NFL. One.
I know.
And you just wanted to drop them for no reason.
But yeah, I'm not sold on. I'm not, just like how we're not bought into Baltimore. They're 4-1, but we have them at 8. I'm not sold on Arizona. I understand they're undefeated. Every single one of their wins has been.
Yeah, but look, that's different because look, I got Baltimore at 7.
7.
And they're 4-1, but I don't have a team with the worse record than them ahead of them.
Sure.
Every other team is at best.
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
Arizona's the only undefeated team, and they beat the Rams, they beat the Niners. What do you want them to do?
I want to see more, man.
Buffalo has lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, first game of the season. Again, first game of the season.
All of a sudden, week 1 no longer matters.
I mean, it kind of doesn't.
Oh, man, we're only 5 weeks in. It was like 4 weeks ago.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, week 1. Think about it though. Week 1, a lot of these players, like their main players, didn't play all preseason. So this week 1 is their preseason game.
Sure, there's a lot of teams that look different than they did week 1. I'll give you that, but I don't think we could just throw it out of the picture completely.
Look, Arizona. We're arguing about. I have Arizona at 2, so I'm not. Obviously, they're not bad. I just don't. If they play head to head to Buffalo is just steamrolling people right now. And for to have that
Arizona, I just got a headline: Arizona loses tight end Max Williams for season. That
doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
But
it just popped up from ESPN.
Buffalo's steamrolling people, and I know they had games at the Dolphins where they steamrolled them. They had a home game against Washington and Houston where they steamrolled them. And we laughed. I know they played Houston, and we laughed that the line was like 17. But then they ended up beating Houston by 30-something.
Houston's almost in that New York Jets and Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. But, dude, Buffalo is just on a tear right now. And that team looks good. And I don't see, I mean, I granted they wouldn't, if Arizona and Buffalo played, it wouldn't be till the Super Bowl, but Arizona is by far the best team in the AFC. And I don't see anybody going into Buffalo and beating them in a playoff game.
That'd be tough. That's definitely, it snows up there
dude, it's freezing. It snows. And that's Buffalo loves that.
They got a nice,
Bills love that.
Bills fans are very passionate about their Bills as well. It's a very, rowdy place to play. So you got the weather, you got the fans. Yeah, it's definitely a tough place. So yeah, if they get home field throughout, they definitely have a advantage going for them. But just because there's only one undefeated team, and it's not like that undefeated team's beating a whole bunch of cupcakes. They've beaten quality teams. I think they've earned that number one spot.
100%. Again, they're number 2. They're not number 5 or 7 or anything. I have them at number 2. You have them at 1. So
fair enough. Fair enough.
But so that's my 1 through 10. And just talking about some notable NFL games that we got this Sunday, that would be good. Look, I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and I think, this is another potential loss for Arizona, which maybe if they win this game, maybe they go to 1, but they're playing at Cleveland this weekend.
They better go to 1 if they win that game. At Cleveland, yeah, they better go to 1 if they win that game.
A couple others, but also the Bills, they play at Tennessee this weekend. Tennessee's not a bad team.
Man, that should be a fun game right there.
That's Monday Night Football game. And then 2 others that I'm looking at, Chargers at Baltimore. I think really this game is going to tell us more about Baltimore than it is the Chargers.
Okay.
So that's a one. And then I got another one really of 2 teams kind of going the opposite direction. And it's the Raiders at the Broncos. So both of them started 3-0. Both of them have 2 game losing streaks.
I thought by other direction, I thought you meant one was going one way and the other was going the other.
Oh, no. I meant like away from all these good teams we're talking about. Yeah. So, both of them started 3-0. Both of them are on 2 game losing streaks, meaning one of these teams will be on a 3 game losing streak.
Yeah, I think the winner, they might pump some more life into their season, while the loser, and they might be in for a long season after all.
Yeah. And it's hard to say who, because obviously, given if we would have talked about this Sunday,
the game at? Where's the game
in Denver.
I'm going to give Denver the nod, and I think they'll win. They're not going through all the nonsense that the Raiders are going through right now.
They are going through a ton of nonsense.
Who's that?
The Raiders.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the Broncos as well. I was like, yeah, definitely the Raiders are. So I'll give Broncos that. Being at home, I'll give them the nod there.
I'll give them the nod too. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But all right, let's move on to our favorite topic, the topic we love to disagree on, one where I'm right and you have your opinion. But college football, baby. College football, we've seen a ton of upsets. It should be noted, I know you and we both have only one new team in this top 25.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of changes throughout the top 25.
Agreed.
But only one new entry into the top 25.
Agreed. A lot of changes. All right. So start it off. Tell me 25 through 21.
All right. 25 through 21. This is the Texas region. We got number 25, Texas A&M. We got number 24, Texas. We got number 23, Arkansas. We got number 22, Arizona State. And we got number 21, UTSA.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
What is there not to like here? You tell me.
Well, first of all, UTSA is on the list.
Undefeated.
They should have lost this game at Western Kentucky.
They didn't, and Western Kentucky is not as bad as their record indicates.
Yes, it is. Stop defending these teams.
They were underdogs on the road, and they went in there and got themselves a big W.
They were underdogs. Why were they underdogs? They should not be. They were undefeated. Why were they underdogs?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. They won.
It does matter. They're underdogs because they're not that good.
We're not ranking teams based on who Vegas thinks is the favorites. We're ranking them based on what they've done on the field.
But you don't think that should be on the same page? We should be on the same line where Vegas is ranking them? You think they're just doing it for the hell of it?
No, I don't think we should keep that, and that should not be part of our ranking system, looking at Vegas's odds and whatnot. No, we should see what they've done on the field and rank them. So yeah, they're undefeated. They beat Western Kentucky, who's not terrible despite their record. They have a loss to Indiana and to Michigan State, and they weren't blown out, I don't think, in either of those games. They were underdogs. They went on the road. They got another win. They remain undefeated. Yeah, I got them at number 21.
Unbelievable.
What else? Anything else in there? Or you go ahead and give me yours and we'll talk a little bit.
Okay. You have Arkansas in there and Arizona State. I thought Arkansas, I have them higher because, I mean, look, they were in a shootout this weekend and they could have potentially won that game.
Yeah, but I believe that's 2 straight losses for them now.
Yeah, but yeah.
They got some big wins as well. But yeah, 2 straight losses. There's a handful of undefeated teams remaining. There's some 1-loss teams. I just felt they had to drop a little bit lower for 2 straight losses. So
that's
they're
fair.
Still in my top 25, and I got them just ahead of the 2 teams they beat, Texas and Texas A&M. So I think.
Okay. All right. So at number 25, I have NC State. Number 24, I have Texas Longhorns. 23, I have San Diego State. 22, I have Florida. And at 21, I have A&M.
You some head scratchers right here.
I mean,
one more time. Run through that one more time for me.
I have NC State, UT, San Diego State, Florida, and then A&M.
Okay, first of all, why is NC State barely cracking your top 25 when they're the team that knocked Clemson out of the top 25, essentially?
Yeah. Did they have a bye this past week?
I think they may have, because I think their last game was against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, they had a bye. They beat Louisiana Tech by 7. I don't know. I mean, other teams did other things that warranted being in front of them because, they had that big win against Clemson, but obviously Clemson is outside the 25 now.
You got Florida ahead of NC State.
I do.
Why?
Because I'm not completely bought into NC State, just like we're not bought into Clemson because Clemson is not in top 25.
Bought into Florida? You bought into Florida?
I mean, I'm not bought into Florida.
Look, man.
I'm more on the fence with NC State than I am Florida.
They lost to Kentucky. They lost to Bama at home. And still give me their quality wins. They have some
Tennessee. You're forgetting Tennessee has had a quiet, decent season.
Who did Tennessee get whooped by? Tennessee got whooped by someone recently. Anyways, I have to look at that. But Tennessee's not in the top 25.
I know they're not. And so neither is Western Kentucky. And you're hyping them up like they should be on the outside.
Look, they have no losses. Florida has 2 losses.
All right.
Anyway. Go ahead.
Look, hold on. Let me tell you. Hold on. Tennessee's 4-2.
Yeah, they have 2 losses. And tell me give me their win-loss and who they beat and whoever they lost to.
So they beat South Carolina 45-20.
No good.
They put up 62 points at Missouri and they won.
Not very good either.
Oh, look at you. But apparently that's not impressive, but beating Western Kentucky by 6 is impressive. Okay. Well, I see where your mind is.
They lost to Pittsburgh, didn't they?
They lost by 7 to
to
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh lost to Western Michigan.
And then Western Michigan lost to Ball State.
Okay, exactly. What are we doing here?
I'm just saying,
Exactly.
like, I don't think Tennessee's that bad.
Okay. Whatever. That's
Okay.
their best win, though. They have 2 losses.
All right.
This ain't your mom and dad's Tennessee volunteer team we're talking about here.
I mean, Tennessee wasn't even good when my mom and dad's time. It's been longer than that.
Anyways, all right, let's go from 20 to 16 now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coming in at number 20, cracking the top 20 this week, the SMU Mustangs. Coming in at number 19, the North Carolina State Wolfpack. And probably our biggest mover of the week, coming in at number 18, Wake Forest. Number 17, BYU. Number 16, Kentucky.
Okay, so you're a little bit higher on BYU than I am. I'm very disappointed in their loss this weekend.
Well, look, they got to win against Arizona State.
I know who they won and I know who they've beaten. I'm just saying that was a very disappointing loss.
Sure, it definitely was. And that's why they dropped, let me see here, I think 10 spots in my ranking. But they still got the win against Arizona State, who's 4-1, I believe. And they also got the win against Utah, who's 3-2 in second place in the same division as Arizona State.
There you go. You're excited about Utah, but you're not excited about Tennessee. That's 4-2. Okay. I see where
They'd be okay. I'm not saying, look, it's a combination of the two. They got the win against Arizona State as well. You're throwing that one out the window.
Unbelievable.
The 2-loss team is not their best win. That's their second best win, unlike Florida. They also got the win against Arizona State, who would be undefeated if they didn't beat them. So, and who is currently ranked as well. So, yeah.
Let me ask you real quick. They have one loss, and they have one less loss than Florida does. Do you take into consideration, and this is really just a general question, I'm not really speaking on any specific teams, but do you take into consideration teams that beat other teams and that cover the spread in the when they beat them?
No, the spread don't matter to me.
That doesn't hold any weight to you?
No, it's mostly win losses. If we're going, if it's getting close, like nitty gritty, like tiebreaker, maybe I'll look at how teams would beat another team or whatnot. But the key is to win the game.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So mine at number 20, I have BYU. At number 19, I have SMU. Move them up. At number 18, I have Arkansas. I think, that was a close game against Ole Miss. And, they dropped, but Arkansas is a good team. Number 17, I have Arizona State. That was a good home win against Stanford. And then at number 16, I have Wake Forest.
I don't hate anything except the fact that you got Arizona State ahead of BYU. Who BYU beat.
I got you.
Head-to-head should be the number one tiebreaker, or this should be the number one thing when looking at two teams. If they've played head-to-head and they got the same record.
Yeah, but if since then, if Arizona State keeps winning and then BYU loses, I'm not going to fault Arizona State for losing that game earlier in the season and always keep BYU ahead of them.
Sure, because this is not power rankings. This is different than the NFL power rankings. These rankings,
I understand that.
The whole season body of work. This is not just who's doing good at this point of the year. This is a whole body of work that we're ranking these teams based on.
Sure,
unlike
I get it.
Necessarily the power ranking. So, yeah, I think BYU should definitely be ahead of them. Other than that, I don't hate it. Who was your 16?
Wake Forest. I thought that was a really good win at Syracuse.
Well, it's not a great win, and they don't have any great wins, but they've got a number of decent wins that have suddenly arose.
Sure.
Like they got Louisville, they beat Syracuse.
Also, though, but you got to and taking into consideration,
not looking terrible right now. What's that?
I was saying, taking that into consideration, the ACC is not good this year. So wins like Syracuse, that matters.
Yeah, like it's not great. Neither is the Pac-12. Those two conferences are kind of one and the same right now.
Pac-12 is okay. It's not great either, but it's better than the ACC.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty close. But Like, what if we're considering just maybe Oregon? Maybe they got Oregon.
I mean,
Arizona
Oregon is
State,
Oregon is their best bet, and then you also have
they
Arizona
lost to
State,
Stanford though, who's 3-3.
but you have Arizona State as well.
Lost to BYU.
I mean, we're not going to talk about their losses. Yeah, they have losses, but it's where they're ranked now. And I'm saying,
I mean, rankings. Well, we're talking about like the AP rankings. Those are trash. But so I'll just ignore those. But anyways, look, the ACC has some quality teams still. They got Wake Forest, who is undefeated. I don't think the Pac-12 has any undefeated teams. They got NC State, who's 4-1. So they got some quality teams in the ACC. I mean, they just don't have nobody. I don't think that's great.
I mean, you're losing me right now because I'm telling you why the Pac-12 is better, and it's because they have ranked teams. I don't care what their records are; they have ranked teams.
So you're saying they're better because the AP poll says they're ranked?
Look, what do you mean? Your polls and my polls affect this. They reflect what we're saying here. Like the highest ranked ACC team that we have is Wake Forest. And then the only other ACC team that we have here is NC State. So, I mean,
what about the Pac-12 though?
Well, we have Oregon, we have Arizona State.
That's it though.
But they're ranked higher.
Just Oregon. That's it.
Okay.
I got Wake Forest at 18. I got Arizona State at 22.
Okay, you're talking about their losses. You mean to tell me that win at Ohio State wasn't the best win?
It was, and that's why they're number 9. And I kind of said, if we're just talking about Oregon, like if that's the deciding factor between the two conferences, okay. Like if we're saying the Pac-12 is better just because of Oregon, maybe. I'm not even sold on Oregon completely yet, but right now, yes, we got them ranked up there. And if that's like the deciding thing, then yeah, the Pac-12 is better if Oregon's the separator. But other than that, it's pretty much the same stuff.
All right, give me your 15 through 11.
15 through 11, coming in at 15, Notre Dame. Coming in at 14, the San Diego State Aztecs. Number 13, Coastal Carolina. Number 12, Ole Miss. And number 11, Ohio State.
Okay. Where did you have Kentucky at?
16. Okay. Right outside. Look, if there's one team, I thought about this after I did my rankings too. If there's one team I'm kind of probably a little low on than I should be, it might be Kentucky. They're undefeated. They got the big win against Florida. They also, who they just beat? They just beat somebody else that was decent, I think. But anyways, I felt like I was a little low on them. They could probably go ahead of Notre Dame, maybe San Diego State and Coastal Carolina as well. So I might be a few spots low on them, give or take, but
okay.
That's about the only one I felt somewhat.
So I have a lot of change in my 15 through 11, and it's because Oregon and Oklahoma State that are in my 15 through 11, they had bye weeks last week. And so they didn't really do anything to improve, whereas other people around them did. So that's why there's a lot of change here. So at 15, I have Kentucky. And at 14, I have Coastal Carolina. And I saw some stats and some numbers today. And if it wasn't for last year and what Coastal Carolina did, they're no different than UTSA this year.
What do you mean? They're putting up like historic numbers right now. They're like blowing teams out and like yards.
I'll give them that. They are blowing teams out. And that would warrant them being in the top 25, obviously. I mean, I have them at 14, but if we ignore what they did last year and only focus on this year, they're probably like 24, 23.
Ah, man, I would say, look, based on their schedule, yes, but based on the way they're just killing teams.
Yeah, and I'm talking about their schedule. I'm talking about their strength of schedule.
Atrocious. I don't know. It was one of them years where they didn't have a very good schedule, basically. So yeah, their schedule sucks, but they're putting historic numbers up. They're blowing out teams. Their yards per game is up there with some of the great teams of recent years. I was hearing, I think it's RJ Young. He's one of the Fox guys. He was talking about it the other day, I believe. He had actually Coastal Carolina's coach come on the show, but he was talking about how their yards per game is up there, I believe, with like the LSU team from a couple years ago. Like they're putting up like crazy numbers this year. So, I mean, that look, they're doing what they got to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, if exactly right, they're doing what they have to do. If they're going like, and this is my argument. If you're a lesser team, if you're a team in a lesser conference, the only way you're going to get recognition is if you're blowing out your competition because we know it's poor.
Right or wrong,
but that's what Coastal Carolina is doing. What they have to do, right? I totally understand that. I mean, that again, I have them at 14. It's just that, it's because we're going off of what happened last year. But by that
we were specifically when the first, the preseason rankings week 1 or so comes out and you don't really know much about.
You go off what they did the year before.
And the rank where they start out a little bit higher than somebody like UTSA who wasn't as good last year. So yeah, they're going to move up probably a little bit faster, but that's kind of how it works for the teams in the non-A5 conference, the smaller conferences.
Yeah.
They got to do it. They got to put a body of work for more than 1 year, and then they start moving up. So that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, I get you. But also by that same token, because we can't admit that we're not going off of last year with Coastal Carolina. We have to include that they lost their bowl game to Liberty.
But we do this for bigger teams too, like teams like Bama.
Oh no, yeah, we do this for everybody. We do this for everybody, of course.
Higher because of what they did last year, and when they lose a game, they're still in the top 10. So.
And you have to go off of what you did last year, because if you don't, then all you're going to do is go off of recruiting. And if that's the case, then A&M and Texas would be in the top 5 every year, and we know that's not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so 14 I have Coastal Carolina, 13 I have Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss. That is a good team. Number 12 I have Oklahoma State. Again, they were on a bye. They are a good team, but they were on a bye. They didn't really do a ton to kind of move that ahead. And number 11 I have Oregon.
Okay, so I already noticed a few things unfolding here that we completely disagree with. So I'll start with the first thing that we won't talk too much about because we talk about it every week. That's the fact that you completely just ignore San Diego State.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah. What do you mean? I didn't ignore them. I have them at a solid 23.
Yeah, 2 Pac-12 wins, undefeated team, and a solid 23. Anyway, I digress. Then I noticed, what else did you have here? We agreed on Ole Miss. We might have been one off. We agreed on Coastal.
Oklahoma State, Oregon.
Oh, Oklahoma State. Yeah, you missed on them. Where you got them at 12?
Yeah, I have them at 12.
Yeah, I got them much higher than that. They're undefeated. They beat Baylor. Who else did they beat? They have another solid.
They won
win.
at Boise State.
Boise State and another one, I think. There's a third one. They have the Boise win. They have the Baylor win, and they.
I think they have Kansas State.
Kansas State. Yeah, I believe that's it. So they got Kansas State, Boise, Baylor. They're undefeated. Nah, 12's not high enough.
Well, look. We talk about that. They have a game this weekend where they're going to prove how good they are.
Who they got?
They're coming to Austin. They got the Longhorns.
Okay, there you go.
In Austin.
Oh, yes, that's a big time game.
That's going to tell me how good they are. I have them at 12. There is a lot of room for movement for these guys.
And then you have, I believe you said Oregon at 11, which tells me you have Ohio State somewhere ahead of that.
Ohio State, again, they do this. Oklahoma does this every year. And Ohio State does this every year too, except it hasn't really happened to Oklahoma yet, which is making me feel like they're on the right path. But they lose a game, and then after that, they blow everybody out of the water the rest of the year. Ohio State has found that where they're blowing everybody out now. They found, I don't know why, but they find it necessary to need to lose one game, and then they find their groove. Ohio State has found that groove, and that's why I'm moving them up.
You have 2 teams that have beat other teams head to head.
Yeah, that's not a factor to me. That is not a factor to me.
Bro, the games on the field matter.
You said it doesn't matter if they play each other. You said that.
No, I did not say that.
You said that.
On the field, they have these little lines. They call it the gridiron. It's the football field. You put 2 teams on it. They play, and the winner gets to be ahead of that team.
That's man.
Me, that is like probably my biggest pet peeve right there.
Okay, but then also, okay, you think about that, but then also I'm looking at, well, what are their losses? Because you're not taking that in consideration. Ohio State's loss is against Oregon. Oregon's loss is against Stanford.
Yes, but listen to who you said Ohio State's loss was against.
And
they both have one loss.
Yeah, why are you holding up the number 2 then?
Who has the best win of those two teams? Why are we just talking about losses here? Who has the best win of those two teams?
Look, I understand. Look, I understand your point. All this is gonna again. I've preached this week after week. Where we have them now is almost irrelevant because it is all gonna play itself out. Because Ohio State is gonna have to play Penn State. They're gonna have to play Michigan. They're gonna have to play Michigan State. If Iowa wins out, they're gonna have to play Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. It's gonna have to work itself out.
Yeah, sure, but right now,
and you just said,
who is their best win? Maryland.
What about Rutgers?
Rutgers, who's on a 2 or 3 game skid, 3-game skid.
Hey man, Ohio State is doing what they got to do.
They go into the horseshoe and beat Ohio State, and we're just gonna put Ohio State ahead of them.
Well, Oregon should have beat Stanford.
Oh, what? They still have the same amount of losses Ohio State and a better win. Like head to head, too. Head to head, a better win, same record. Come on, man. Anyways, that's enough of that. 10 through 6.
So I know you're wrong, but go ahead. 10 through 6. Who do you got?
10 through 6. 10, Penn State. 9, Oregon. 8, Alabama. 7, Michigan. 6, Oklahoma State.
Whoa. Now I'm thinking you just drew names out of a hat. That is scrambled. That is scrambled eggs.
No, sir. I'll explain it all. Anyway, you can give me your 10 through 6, or we can talk about mine first, whatever you want to do. But
where do you have Michigan State?
I haven't mentioned them yet.
You haven't mentioned them yet?
No.
Okay, hold on. My biggest issue with your 10 through 6 is that you have Alabama at 8. Why?
What do you mean? You think that's too high or too low or what?
Way too low.
Too low?
Yes.
They just lost to an unranked team. Well, now that team's ranked number 25 in my poll, but that's because they beat them. But they were unranked. They were 3-2. They lost to them. Why would they be any higher than 8 right now?
Wait, by your logic, shouldn't A&M be ahead of Alabama then in the rankings?
No, because A&M has 2 losses. Alabama has 1 loss, and they have much better wins outside of that game. That's not the same thing.
So let me ask you, do you think Oklahoma State, is Oklahoma State undefeated?
Yes. And they got the Boise win, they got the K-State win, they got the Baylor win, and they're undefeated.
Where do you have Penn State?
I have them at 10. Their wins, like their big win against Wisconsin, not looking as good anymore because Wisconsin's not doing very good. They just lost to Iowa. Yeah, it was a close game, but they still lost. Like I said, the quality wins, they're not looking as quality right now. Oregon's got a better win against Ohio State. Bama's got better wins. Michigan and the rest of the teams are undefeated. From 7 through 1 are all undefeated teams.
Who do you have at 7?
Michigan.
Oh, then why don't you have UTSA in there since you want to just put undefeated teams?
Look, these are undefeated teams with quality wins. UTSA is an undefeated team with not so many quality wins.
No, not so many with no quality wins.
Okay, fair enough. But that's why they're not up there with the top 7 teams. But I'm not going to put Bama in there when they just lost to an unranked Texas A&M team that up until that point did not look very good in any of their games, really. So, no.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give you mine then. You're going to love them. All right.
Yeah,
10 through 6. Look, honestly, this one pains me to say it because I do not like this team. Number 10, I have Notre Dame.
What?
Yeah, I don't like Notre Dame, but that was their one loss is against Cincinnati, who we both have in the top 5, and to beat other teams.
What are their big wins?
They beat Wisconsin, which we're starting to realize Wisconsin's not a good team, but that was a big win at the time. And then they just won at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's a decent team.
Decent, yes, decent.
Okay, and look, they won at Florida State, and you just said Florida State was sneaky. Okay,
They're still 2-4, but they won 2 straight.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a little high for me. I don't.
Look, I don't like Notre Dame. I don't, but these wins can't be ignored.
No, they can't be ignored. But the wins, I think you're giving credit to names more than any, like Wisconsin, like typically a really good team. Like
I'm giving credit to the teams that they've beaten.
Extra not Virginia Tech.
You win at Virginia Tech. That's a tough place to win at.
Tough place to win, but I've seen Old Dominion win at Virginia Tech too.
How long ago? How long ago was that?
A couple of years ago.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about in the past, then why do you have Michigan in your top 7 when they lost a home game to Appalachian State several years ago?
Yes, 14 years ago to be exact. But look, I'm not saying I'm not ranking the only thing I'm saying is Virginia Tech is not as great as their name, Virginia Tech. They're a pretty good football team. I just don't think Notre Dame has enough quality wins to be in the top 10 right now.
Okay, that's fair.
On top of that, like if they were undefeated, then yeah, they'd be in the top 10 right now. But with the loss, I don't think they have enough quality wins to be in the top 10 right now.
Okay. All right. So I got Notre Dame at 10. Number 9, I have Michigan State. Number 8, I have Michigan. Number 7, I have Penn State. And number 6, I have Ohio State.
Oh my God. You just go to the AP poll, hit copy and paste?
What do you mean? That doesn't even look like the AP poll.
What? Penn State, I mean, I know they're overrating. They overrated Ohio State and they overrated Alabama. I know that. And that's clearly what you're doing here as well. Huh? Ohio State at 6? Are we just completely ignoring their loss to Oregon? Like, oh, it didn't happen. That was weak, whatever.
Well, for your same argument with Coastal Carolina, they're doing what they can and they're blowing everybody else out. Except now they're blowing out people in the Big Ten.
Except one of those teams is undefeated and the other team isn't. So they're not doing what they could. They lost to Oregon at home. Anyways,
I'm Penn State. Penn State is at 7 deservedly. I mean, that team I'm high on Penn State. I told you I think the only reason they lost that game against Iowa was because their quarterback got hurt. If they won that game, they're number 2. Right. And so
I don't exactly they would be number 2 if they won that game. And I don't hate that you have them at 7. That's fine. I got them at 10. It's just like Ohio State, I hate that one.
And then I have Michigan and Michigan State at 8 and 9.
8 and 9. Like those are both undefeated teams.
But I mean, look, Michigan's okay, but who have they really beaten, right?
Who have they beaten? I'm trying to think of that off.
Their best win was just this past week when they won at Nebraska.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, if you have them a little lower, that's fine. But Michigan State, I think already they beat Rutgers pretty solidly. They also beat Miami, who was ranked at the time. I know they're not ranked now.
Yeah, they're not. Miami's terrible now.
If you want to put a team like Penn State, who you think only lost because their quarterback got hurt, they were up
at Iowa.
At Iowa, they were up, and I think they have some quality wins too. If you want to put them a spot or two ahead of Michigan and Michigan State, I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine with putting Alabama, a team that lost to an unranked team, above those undefeated teams. So, but yeah, Penn State, Michigan, I think they're all bunched in the same little area right now. Other than Ohio State and the fact that you haven't mentioned Alabama yet, I don't necessarily hate it, but there's that. Anyway.
Well, the fact that you haven't mentioned Michigan State either, I'm with you. It gives me a heart attack. All right.
Top five. Here we
Tell
go.
me, you're 5-1. Who do you have?
Coming in at 5, the Michigan State Spartans. Coming in at number 4, the Oklahoma Sooners. Coming in at number 3, the Cincinnati Bearcats. Coming in at number 2, the Iowa Hawkeyes. And coming in at 1, the Georgia Bulldogs.
So our 3-1 is the exact same.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Iowa, Georgia. And I think everybody's poll should be that, right? Like there's no reason. I mean, if you want to shuffle Iowa and Cincinnati, I guess that's fine. But those are your top 3 teams, Georgia, Iowa, and Cincinnati.
Okay. Oklahoma, number 4.
My number 5 is Alabama. And my number 4 is Oklahoma. And I hate Oklahoma. They should have lost this game.
We have the same 1 through 4 then. We have 1 through 4 the same.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have. Okay, we do. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I hate Oklahoma. But maybe it wasn't that we were so down on Oklahoma. Maybe we were so down on Spencer Rattler because.
But wait, we weren't sold on their defense yet, and I still don't think we're sold on their defense, right? Because
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's not the case. But we were saying they haven't been scoring a bunch. They haven't been beating teams by a lot. They've had some low scoring games, but they just haven't scored a lot. Enter Caleb Williams, true freshman quarterback, comes in. Dude,
I think they just been inconsistent on both sides there because you said they had some low scoring. They did. I think the K-State game was pretty low scoring.
No, K-State's when Spencer Rattler, quote unquote, found his groove.
Oh, okay.
Just for him to later get benched. But they had a low scoring game against Nebraska, low scoring game against West Virginia.
But then again, they gave up 35, I believe to Tulane.
Yeah.
Week 1. So, and then they gave up 40-something to Texas too. So I don't think they've looked great on. Maybe they're just inconsistent right now. I don't know what it is.
But
they have talent. They have talent. They're undefeated. They beat UT. So look, they're number 4 right now. Even if I'm not 100% sold on them, but look, that quarterback that they just got that came in mid-Texas game, he looks like a stud. So
I learned a lot from this game because I watched this game, and after not talking or breathing for 4 hours after this game ended, I've come to the realization that number 1, if Texas would have won that, first of all, if the game would have ended in the first half, Texas would be in my top 10. Number 2, I feel like Oklahoma is going to treat this game like a loss, and they are now going to find their groove, especially if they keep rolling with this quarterback, which they haven't named their starting quarterback yet for this weekend. But if that's the case, if they treat it like a loss and they roll with this quarterback and they find their groove, I don't see why they don't go undefeated. And then, if they go undefeated, they'll be in the playoffs.
Right. No doubt. They got the name brand working for them. They started off the season ranked high.
Which will then lead us to another dilemma. I know we talk about dilemmas. So tell me, Oklahoma goes undefeated. We agree that they're in. Iowa goes undefeated. We agree they're in. Cincinnati, they go undefeated. Maybe. So tell me, Georgia and Alabama meet in the SEC championship game. Alabama wins that game. Who's left out of the playoffs? Georgia, Alabama, or Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. There's no doubt about it. Money, ESPN, name brand.
But do you really think? Are you thinking? Is that the only reason why, or do you understand why?
Understand why? No, I don't understand why. I think if Cincinnati wins out, they should be in the playoff. But look, name brand, power conferences. I'm not sold that the committee doesn't flat out cheat when it comes to those kinds of things, especially after what I witnessed in 2014, 2013, when you had TCU, Baylor, and Ohio State all sitting there, and then Ohio State just magically jumps them. Yeah, nah, I'm not sold on the fact that they don't do that kind of stuff. So yeah, for sure, Georgia and Bama. If Bama beats Georgia, and that's Georgia's only loss in the SEC championship, both of them go and Cincinnati's out. And that's not even a question, really.
Okay. All right. I mean, I just wanted to I wanted to see where your head was at because that is a real possibility that could happen.
Mhm.
And I wanted to see if you were going to start making excuses now or then, because
I don't think I'm sold on Iowa going undefeated either, though.
Honestly, I'm not sold on them going undefeated either. And I could see them losing to Ohio State and then that being another a controversy. And then Cincinnati is going to really fall at the wayside.
Yeah, man. Ooh, don't get my skin on. I can already feel it getting boiled up just by you talking about this nonsense.
But these are real scenarios.
Yeah, this is stuff that could happen. Yeah, and this is stuff that would piss me off. There's no doubt about it. Anyways, but yeah, I think our top five. Look, we got our top four the same. So if the playoffs started today, we'd have the same four in there. So there's that. And I think
it don't. But it don't.
Huh?
I said, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter right now. But if it did, I'm just saying we're on the same page. At least there. That's good.
So let's talk about some notable games this weekend. Games that are going to affect our polls. Here's one. Your favorite team. I have them at 23. You have them at like number 2, I think. San Diego State. They got at San Jose State. You and I were both high on San Jose State going into the season. That's going to be a good game.
It's a big game for them. San Jose State hasn't looked as good as they did last year. Again, they still return everybody except 2 receivers. So I still think they're a decent team. I think San Diego State's I think they're about a 7-point favorite right now.
Oh, here you go talking lines when you said that you ain't even that don't even matter.
Well, look, I like to throw a few pennies at these ball games. So
yeah, same.
I'm just saying. I think, look, it's a 7-point game type thing, Vegas says. So it should probably be a pretty good game. And I think if San Diego State wins that, they could put more credit into where I have them ranked right now, maybe move them up another spot or 2. Look, they have 2 Pac-12 wins already. They're 4-0. What do you want them to do? Look, for them, what San Diego State needs, they need Utah to keep winning because Utah's their big.
That is true. Yeah. What they need to do is for the people that they've beaten to keep winning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. And the biggest one on that list is Utah. So if Utah could keep winning, which they have been lately, I think they're 3-2 now. They're starting to look better. Then that could help San Diego State as well. But yeah, this is another big game. Like San Jose State is the Mountain West Conference reigning champion right now. So it's a big game for them to at least push forward towards being a Mountain West Conference champ. So there's that. What other games you got?
Yeah, so I got a few other games. I got, like we talked about earlier, Oklahoma State at UT. That's going to be a big game, big conference game, big game in terms of rankings. How good is Oklahoma State really?
How good is Texas?
How good is Texas? Yeah, or really, how can they rebound from that loss? Because
look, I got Texas in my top, even though they have 2 losses. I put them at 24 because they still got some quality wins. They beat TCU.
At TCU.
Texas
Tech, yeah.
Up on them. They beat Louisiana, who only has 1 loss now. That's their only loss. Louisiana's only loss is Texas. They just destroyed App State last night. So
I saw that.
So Louisiana's looking good. So look, Texas got quality wins outside of their 2 losses. So they're still in my top 25. But this is a big game for them too. Do they want to rebound? Do they want to still compete for the Big 12 championship this year? This is a pretty huge game for the Big 12.
Oh yeah. And the other games. How good is Kentucky? Kentucky's playing at Georgia, now at new number 1 Georgia this weekend.
Man, look, I want Kentucky to win that game. I just don't.
They're not going to, but you know.
And I don't feel like they're enough. I don't think the passing game's there for Kentucky for them to be able to compete in that game. You know, they want to run the ball. They want to play in the trenches a little bit. Yeah. But when you're playing against a team that's better than you in the trenches, it's hard to just play one way and not be a little bit more diverse in your play calling. So
Sure. I got another game that affects both the Big 12, but also just our rankings in general. We got BYU at Baylor.
Big non-conference game.
Yeah.
BYU needs that game to bounce back. Heck, I think did Baylor win or did they have a bye this week?
They won. They beat West Virginia really good this weekend.
All right, that's right. That's right. They beat West Virginia. So, BYU's looking to bounce back. And if they lose, they probably fall out the top 25. If they win, they'll probably be back in the top 15 because, look, Baylor's a one-loss team right now.
Yeah.
They're just on my outside of my top 25. They have the one win against who do they beat? They have one quality win, but outside of that,
Baylor
beat Iowa State.
Right. Iowa State. Yeah.
But outside of that, they haven't beat anybody that's really good. West Virginia, we thought was decent.
What do you mean? They won at Texas State. How is that not a good win?
I thought you were going to say something serious for a second by the look on your face. But hey, speaking of Texas State,
I know they won. It took them 17 overtime to beat South Alabama.
Hey, we won, and we're 1-0 in the conference. So let's go. I might actually go to the next game. I didn't go to that one because I was down on us, but I might.
I thought you have season tickets.
I do, but I didn't go to this one because I was too down on us. But look, we got Troy this weekend at 2:00. If we can win that and get to 3-3, 2-0 in the belt, I'll be pumped. I think we're 7.5 point underdogs right now. So.
Oh man. That's when you know things have gone south, when you're pumped about a home game against Troy.
Troy, they got a little history.
No, they don't. Stop it. No, they don't. A couple other games I'm looking at this weekend. We got Ole Miss. How good are they really? They're playing at Tennessee. Tennessee's 4-2.
This is when you find out what Tennessee really is, since you want to keep hyping them up.
This is true. This is how you find out.
Ole Miss might put 50 on them boys.
You know what, Josh? I hope you're right, because the line is -3 for Ole Miss, and I took Ole Miss -3. So I hope Ole Miss just goes to town on Tennessee.
Okay, cool.
And then the last game, NC State at Boston College. Boston College is 4-1.
Man, those are two teams I'm not sold on, but both have solid records. NC State has the huge win. I'm not really sure about. I don't know. Does BC have any quality wins?
Let me see. Let me look that up right now. But I'll also say that the line is -3 for NC State. So another close one.
Gosh darn. Yeah, that is a tough one right there.
Well, so looking at Boston College, so this is stuff that I don't like, and this is why I did take NC State -3, because they have a win at UMass, who's winless.
Mm-hmm.
But they won 45-28. Like, they shouldn't have given up 28 points to UMass.
No.
They beat Missouri at home in overtime. And then they lose to Clemson by 6.
Their best win was the Missouri win, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, because their other wins were against Colgate, the toothpaste, and then at Temple.
Yes, those are not. Yeah. Oh man, they narrowly lost to Clemson. Everybody narrowly lost to Clemson this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess I'd take NC State in that one, but I don't feel confident in that.
Also, it should be noted, I'll let you in on some of these bets that I took in this weekend, these parlays, since anybody out there wants to jump in. I took Ole Miss -3 at Tennessee. I took Kansas State at home +6.5 against Iowa State.
I like it.
So I'm not sure why they're giving Iowa State 6.5. I mean,
probably perception of what they were when the season started.
Okay, yeah, probably. But I mean, Kansas State, look, they covered against Oklahoma. Why wouldn't they cover against Iowa State?
Yeah.
So yeah, I got Kansas State +6.5. NC State, we talked about. I got them -3 at Boston College. Here's another tough one that I took. Syracuse is hosting Clemson this weekend. The line is 14. I got +14 Syracuse for this weekend.
I mean, I probably ain't betting on that. I don't hate it. Yeah. I mean, everybody's played within 14 points of Clemson this year. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seems like the spread every week is about 13 or 14 points for Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, I see it being a one-possession game.
Okay.
A couple others.
14?
Huh?
It's 14 and a half?
14 straight.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
A couple others. Iowa at home against Purdue is only 11.5 point favorite. So I took them minus 11.5.
Yeah, I think that would too.
Arkansas at home against Auburn is only a 3.5 point favorite. I got Arkansas.
I do not like Auburn.
I don't. Yeah. So I took Arkansas, and then Oregon at home against Cal is a 13.5 point favorite. Oregon is coming off a bye. I think they need to start making some statement wins in the Pac-12. So I got them winning by a good margin. So I took Oregon minus 13.5.
I kind of like it. I think they're better on the defensive side of the ball, but they don't have, from my understanding, a very good offense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's close for a little while, but like you said, Oregon's got to start putting together some not only wins but impressive wins.
Yeah.
Look for them to try to open that thing up.
Yeah, because I know Oregon is watching our podcast and they see where I'm ranking them, so they don't like that. So I see them trying to make moves on wanting to move up on our polls.
You got Oregon at 11, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty dirty. Anyway, so they get beat up for losing to Stanford, but Alabama doesn't get beat up for losing to A&M. Okay. I see what we're doing here, Mr. AT.
I just call it as I see it.
Oh,
all right.
Man.
Well, hey, man, we'll look forward to it. If you guys out there want to make some money, play some bets. I just gave y'all guys some winners right there. If there was one team that I had to do was a for sure lock in, let me open that back up real quick. A for sure lock in. Where the heck did that go? All right, here it is. I'm gonna say Kansas State at home against Iowa State plus 6.5. Lock it down. Wow. Lock of the week. Let's go. Yeah, lock of the week. Kansas State at home against Iowa State. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. I know Halloween's around the corner. I know you and I got to start talking some Halloween stuff. So
you got your costume? Are you being anything this year?
I don't know, man. I don't know. My son is going to be going as Han Solo. So I don't know if I feel obligated to be Chewbacca or to, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I think I'm going with Peter Pan.
You're going with Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My girlfriend is going as, I believe, Tinkerbell or Wendy. I think Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell or Wendy. The other option's Pocahontas and John Smith.
No, there's some racist undertones to that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's that. If you don't want to send that message in 2021.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Okay. Peter Pan and either Wendy or Tinkerbell.
Peter Pan's one of my childhood favorites. Not so much Pocahontas, but I can see my girl being Pocahontas.
Okay. Well, she should be Pocahontas and you should be Peter Pan then.
Oh, yeah, that's a match. There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, yeah, we'll get on the Halloween train a little bit later.
I'm sorry. If I'm Peter Pan and she's Pocahontas, they're just going to think she's one of the Lost Girls or whatever. Hey, come on. What the hell? They're like an Indian? Because, they do dress up. I think they dress up.
They do, yeah. They dress up like Indians. What do you mean? That's actually right on cue with everything else.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway.
Well, that's funny. All right. Well, check us out, guys, at Those Two Dudes podcast on Instagram. Those Two Dudes, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify. Check us out on Spotify, guys. Let us bug you on the road. I know a lot of y'all go to work and y'all are stuck in traffic. Let us annoy y'all on Spotify. Check us out. But yeah, let us know what we got wrong on these polls or what y'all think. Let us know y'all's thoughts. Also, drop a comment in and let us know y'all's favorite Halloween movies. We want to be talking some Halloween stuff. Let us know what movies out there scare y'all, what's overrated, what's underrated, what people should be watching. Let us know, guys. But it's been that dude, Josh.
That's that dude, Ruben.
Like and subscribe. Push that button. Let's go.